Hi all. So I think today I'm going to finally harvest the tomatoes, at least a good chunk of them, so I can make a miniature version of some tomato sauce. So I want to point out a lot of the ones that are ready to harvest. And a week ago, I think only one was ready, and this one was the runner-up. But now I have a lot of them getting ready to be plucked, which I'm happy about. So I'm gonna pick up, I think, probably 12 and just kind of smash them up and stuff and use some other ingredients and make some tomato sauce. Just gonna do maybe like a little snippet at the ones that are close. This is the second tomato that I was ready to harvest, and so this one's been red for a while. I'm gonna do a couple other ones. See, the other ones are pretty much out the bed, so if they drop, they're just gonna drop on the floor. Specifically concrete floor. That's 2. That's 3. Oops, I didn't record that. That's 4. Okay. And I have 3 on this one that are ready to go. They say 5. They say that you can pretty much, 5, 6, 2. They say you can harvest them once they pretty much turn like yellow or orange, but I like to wait until they turn red because, see, one dropped on the floor. I just like to wait until they turn red. It's just my preference. And plus that means that gives you a little bit more time to get the other ones that are ready to harvest. So there's 4 of them. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I plucked 8. I'm gonna do 4 more. 4 of the reddest ones, so I think these 4. Then those I'll just wait for time to get those over there. I'm gonna do wide angle just so you can see. Everything. Put this between my neck. So 5, 6, 7, 11, and then 12. Yep. So here are my 12 tomatoes that are ready to harvest. They're tiny, but it is a prototype. Okay, I'm gonna grab some basil. Pesto basil. Okay, I'm gonna probably take these are pretty large actually. I know I planted so many in a small area. So what I'm gonna do is probably cut off the one in the middle just to make sure they have enough room. And then maybe just one on the side, this one. You see? Yep, cut that off. Harvest these. Okay, and then what else? I wanted to try the Italian oregano because they said that this one is, I think it's like a special ingredient that is used in spaghetti to give it like an extra tangy taste. So I'm gonna grab a couple of those. It's a couple of those size, not too much because I'm not too familiar. There we are. Here's my morning tomato sauce harvest. And I just want to point out real quick, these are some of the plants I got from Animal yesterday. So I'm really excited to see those get ready to be harvested. Especially the strawberries, because I have 2, but I couldn't find the other ones. So yeah, I'll come back and check on my other plants, but this morning I did go to the food garden. Well, it's a garden that's really close to where I live, and so I finally took the opportunity to go, and it was nice. So here is the stuff. I have 12 tomatoes, about I think 3 small heads of the basil, and a little bit of oregano. So I'm going to go inside and show you the garlic I actually harvested from the place this morning. Okay, so this morning I was clearing out a bed out of the community garden I went to, and so I just found these, and I was like, well, what is this? I was like, well, wait a minute. So there was so many, like a whole bundle worth of garlic, and so it was perfect timing that I was able to find these, because I still foraged it. I'm gonna look into how I can grow garlic and my own little garden, because I love garlic, but it's kind of it requires, I guess, a special type of growing. But to know that they actually that this one grew here in our own neighborhood is great to know. So I'm happy that I was able to go. It's not a whole clove, of course, but still, it's still good to have. And I still foraged it. I don't think anybody really wanted it, nor did anybody knew it was there, so it's good that I have something. And these on the side is also the Ethiopian basil flowers, which is what I wanted to harvest. We'll harvest the seeds out of. But here's the garlic I'm going to use in the prototype tomato sauce. And then here is the tomatoes and the other harvest that I used. So I'm going to put it slightly on top, not to crush the tomatoes, but to add on to my harvest. And yeah, I'll go make the tomato sauce. Okay, so I'm kind of rummaging through the garlic I harvested. We keep mentioning that, but here is I kind of peeled it and just kind of cut the bottom off, and here is another one. I'm gonna probably use 3 or 4 of the garlic. I'm gonna pan out. Zoom out. So I put it between my neck, kind of show my process. So I'm cutting the bottom right now, and this is how it looks like. And then I'm going to probably cut it in half. Oops. Okay. That was very dangerous. I need to be very careful. Okay, so this one has multiple cloves in it, or multiple pieces of garlic. And so, yeah, this one is like a legitimate clove of garlic. It's just minimized. See, I can see why people just buy the store-bought garlic, because this is it's too much. It's pretty very, very tedious to get the pieces that you want. Give me 1 second as I it's a long process, so I'm gonna pause it and show you the finishing touch. Alright, so here is the garlic I finished harvesting. Cutting up. Just gonna put it in here and show you what is gonna be in the tomato sauce today. So here's the thing though. What is the thing? Right, I know they say that you're supposed to put carrots in it, some carrots, celery, but I don't have carrots growing. I may grow some very soon, but it's just, at least in these conditions, the carrots did not last very long. I grew them, planted I think 3 or 4, and oh shoot, they did not grow. So I'm still gonna use these and make a very tasty prototype tomato sauce, because these are just still in the works. So I'm gonna grab a tiny pot not very tiny, but I'm gonna use this and then put some of the tomatoes to boil. And yeah, so I'm gonna put these in here and let's get started with it. Okay, so now my hands smell like garlic, but I minced up the garlic and put it in here. I know it's a lot of garlic, but I really love garlic, and I couldn't compromise on that. I'm gonna wash the basil and then just put it in within like the last few minutes. It gives it the tangy taste, fresh tangy taste that it needs. Okay, I'm gonna keep this boiling and let the tomatoes kind of melt into the pot and let the garlic soak in so it's easier to mush. Trying to mix up. So tomatoes are gradually melting. But yeah, that's a good sign, of course. You just want to keep it melting and keep the water at a definite. Keep the water boiling because you know you want to make sure the garlic is easier to kind of not almost just kind of mush into the sauce. So towards the end, I'm gonna add the basil. I already added the Italian oregano, so the taste is gonna kick in. The pesto basil, it's really good, and I think it's gonna give it an extra boost because right now you can tell it's gonna be very garlicky. So it's gonna be a mouthful of like kind of a sweet, savory flavor. Now I've never cooked with, well, no, I can never cook, but I rarely use the like smaller tomatoes. I'm always used to the big ones, but once again, this is like a prototype just to see how everything would turn out. I know usually it's pretty common to either keep this boiling or if you just want to get rid of the skin, you kind of blend it together so it's easier to consume. But I don't know if I'm going to do that quite yet. But I'll say this, there is a lot of skin. So, but once again, this is a prototype. So I'm just, I'm trying to make sure everything kind of works out. Yeah, I'm going to add more water. Just to make sure that everything is kind of boiling, that doesn't completely evaporate. So I know it's not completely boiled down yet. I do want to give a little taste to the tomato sauce. Unfortunately, I cannot find a spoon, so I'm just going to give it a little taste with a fork. Yeah, you can really taste the tomatoes in here. Kind of like a tangy taste. Let me add more tomato sauce and lower the temperature just to make sure it doesn't evaporate completely. I think at this point I'm going to add the basil. Just give it a quick rinse first. Alright. Now I'm going to start to have such a sweet, bold taste, which I love. Basil. I didn't stress that enough before. I love basil. Okay, so while I'm finishing up the tomato sauce, add a little bit more water. I'm going to put some pasta to boil. Just a little bit, because, obviously I don't have a lot of tomato sauce to compensate. So I'm just going to add a little bit just to make sure I at least get to have a little contrasting taste, or just to make it feel like a legitimate meal. Because once again, it's a prototype and you want to get the right results. But I put the pasta to boil, and so I'm going to finish this up first, and then I'm going to serve it together so I can have my little prototype meal. It's great. I'll show the results. So the tomato sauce is pretty much finished, so I'm just going to cover it. And then I'm going to, once this is ready, I'm going to serve it. I'm really excited to see how it tastes. Okay, so here's the thing. I realized that in both of these, there's no carrots in here in the ingredients. So it's really, I think maybe they typically put them in home cooked meals or home cooked tomato sauce. So I think to give it that nice plump flavor. But this is more so tomato sauce, and this is, pizza tomato. Alright, so I think my stuff is ready, so I'm going to turn it off, make sure it doesn't burn. I'm going to get ready to serve it. May spill a little bit. I will pick it up, don't worry. Come on! Okay, I'm gonna break it if I keep doing that, so I'm gonna have to pause it and put it all in. Okay, so I poured it on, and here's my tomato sauce. If it'll come out. See, for this you need 2 hands, so I'm going to pan out. I know this isn't the most appealing setting, but once again it's a prototype. Luckily, I'm not shooting a commercial. Okay, so, whoops, here it is. This is my prototype tomato sauce. It's basically everything was either homegrown or foraged by me in terms of the tomato sauce. I'm gonna give it a taste and see how it tastes. Yum. So I'm definitely gonna make more of these. I'm gonna plant some garlic. Plant some garlic so I can have more of this. Next time I do want to try blending it so the tomato exterior or the skin would probably be easier to consume, because it does it's kind of hard to swallow. So, but overall this is really good. Very tangy, very tangy. Also pretty sweet, and I see why they call it a Candyland tomato. But it's very tasty and definitely a recipe for the books. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Yes.